This is a real first time done market outlook on the computer. I'm not going to lie. The past few days I've just in fact the past 2 weeks. Don't need to give a life story anyway. so this is the 4-day chart. And we see that this push to the downside became done pushing as of this most recent bar close, right? This bar close. So as the most recent bar close, and the market's bullish. And as of the most recent 4-day bar close, the market was likely to push to around 360, and it already has done. So maybe just for context, I'll mark up this 4-day push to pivot in where intent trade is likely to where it's likely to see where based on the intent market participants exhibited up to the most recent bar close, and how that structured the in-play and push-up and then how they traded and how they most recently agreed upon trading with the prices what were available within the most recent day bar close, and how they traded with those prices what were available on this occasion, and where those prices are. It is likely that within this region from the close to the high and bit past, they're likely to maintain the same sort of intent. You can pretty much be sure that they will, but obviously I can't be sure, but just based on the structure, it is likely to push to there, and then obviously utilize next step lower time frames to see whether that's the case. Now, this 4-day bar close actually closed on the Wednesday. I remember now. I reminded myself, and yeah, look. So this bar close looked pretty darn nice to push even around there. That's where my subconscious mind took it. But anyway, what I've also found is that when the market reaches its push, it's where intent to trade is likely to where it is likely to see market participants intend to be maintained till based on the way they traded, based on the way they were willing to trade with the price what were available as of the most recent bar close, and then how they would have to subsequently trade to structure the in-play and push to be set up of the sort of potentially being done, and then also acknowledging as of the most recent bar close is the push set up as of the sort of a push that's set up as done, and in this case it wasn't. It was just setting up in the case of a newly emerging push, which looked like it was easily going to push to the upside, and to be fair, it still does. But based on how many candles, how many time periods over, how many 2-day time periods market participants had traded in the same consecutive fashion over the previous Saturn push compared to this one right now, and then the signs they're showing as of the most recent 2-day bar close, it is a bit iffy if for continuation. I do think a retracement is coming soon, because if you look at the 2-week. This 2-week bar closes soon, and we've been pushing to the downside since October, man. Or September. I think I showed YouTube videos of being bearish all throughout here. Of course I've took a few losses. I think because I took a loss on the CPI, not because I betted on CPI. I was just short from the European bond trading session, and I got stopped. And I think I took. And I took another loss again on GU in the November, and aside from that, there hasn't been any proper valid losses that I've been on EU and GU, and there's been none other losses. I don't want to say valid. There has been none. But stupidly, I did also trade gold for a bit again, which was just retarded as hell. But anyway. So you see here, there is some signs that, but I know it's got this day bar close. If this weekly bar, if this 2-week close here, it is still showing somewhat signs of intent to trade wearing. But then if you look at the monthly, that's just not the case. It is just, it looked as of the most recent monthly bar close, it looked like it was going to push to around here. We've already met that target. But to be fair, even if this monthly bar closed up where the point of my arrow is, it that would show signs, especially below the previous Saturn push range low, and specifically below the previous Saturn pushes range low. Yeah. And also having pushed to the down, haven't seen market participants' intent to trade be maintained for as many time periods as what the previous player and push had pushed to the upside for over. So but it's early days anyway. Yeah, so dropping down from the 2-day to the daily, to verify what the likelihood case is off the 2-day bar closing the way it did. Like, this is the most recent bar close. To be fair, it doesn't look that good for short, I have to say, relative to the daily. Here, this push to the downside became done as of here. This is just Sunday time period. I don't know why this broker shows it, but I just like this broker because it shows like the futures chart closes. So like you have the 8-hour close at the proper time, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, the daily looks good to push around here. Remember, this is already a target met as of here. So as of this most recent bar close, this was also how the daily was set up when the 4-day and 2-day were set up the way they were. It was pretty likely, like, this push is not done. It was likely that market participants' intent to trade based on how they trade with the price, how they were seen to agree upon trading with the prices here, and how that set up the bars formation. Like, amongst the already existing structure of the in-play and push, it was likely that market participants' intent was likely to be maintained for at least up to here, like relative to the 4-day, even well, not even, but relative to the 4-day. Daily, so this is old. I just like to have this on here to like remember. Okay, yeah, the 4-day target's been met. Typically, we do tend to reverse. Like when the weekly target was met, look what happened. We're reverse. So I'll show you on the 1 hour too. Also about that 1 hour strategy, I'm gonna have something to say after this. I don't think it's feasible. It was a win strategy wise this morning, but it wasn't a win for my account, and we'll go into why. It's a bit odd, but I just don't think I can trade the 1 minute. Like, the strategy works, but anyway, 12-hour bullish, 8-hour. Something in my computer like rattling. It actually sounds like a bug in my computer. 8-hour kind of looks good for shorts. 7-hour looks good for shorts. Remember, we determined the most probable direction that is likely to prevail over European morning trading session. I think this was CPI. So yeah, the 4 hours likely to drift down to around here. Defo, well, not defo, but like, you get what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's set up in that way for it. It's definitely set up in that way, but whether it does push to the downside is not known. So yeah, you got the structure going on. 2 hours also bearish, which is good, but still relative to the 12-hour and daily being as bullish as they are, we would want to see a 1 hour nice bar close, which we are forming right now. This would be suitable if it closed like this right now. But let's just quickly take a look at the 9-hour CFD chart. Yeah, so you know what, like, this was the weekly target, that's what I was referring to. So this was where the weekly push and play as of this week open was likely to push to, based on the existing structure of the in-play and push relative to the weekly, and then also how the most recent weekly bar close market participants within that bar had traded like and contributed to the formation of the weekly bar close, showing how market participants were willing to agree upon with those prices in that vicinity, and how they were likely to continue to do so from the weekly bar close point, basically, in the prices, and how they were likely to perceive the prices within the nearby vicinity, like, based on how they had already done so, or seem to have done so in the most recent bar close. So I'm just going to go through all the same thing again on this. That's a 12-hour. The 9-hour looks brilliant to push lower to around here. I may as well mark it up. I should probably zoom in a bit more. Yeah, it looks good to push to there. This is what I'm doing, just based on the 9-hour intent to trade, where it's like how it's unfolded, how participants trade within the most recent 9-hour bar closing, where it's likely to continue to. Obviously, you verify that with next step lower time frames. 8-hour is also set up nice to keep pushing lower. 4-hour is also set up brilliant to keep pushing lower. 3-hour, which is like the really good time frame to look at on the CFD charts, because this bar closed at 7. Gives you a more clearer picture of the intent to trade as of 7. And there's no sign that suggests that they're likely to stop continuing to the downside. So it is likely to push to, I would say, around there at least. And then anyway, the 2-hour on here, looks good. So as of this bar close, and then the 1 hour. So what you would want to see is you would just want to see exactly what I showed in the other thing. A retrace to this region, and then a nice bar close. So that's what I'm looking for on euro dollar, and yeah, similar as that.